and make it easier for my blood to circulate through the leg, which is a blessing and a curse for me because I've always struggled with my weight issues. Um, but it's kind of forcing me now. I'm learning more and more about health and, wellness instead of just like how to work out. And it's gonna, this is a good reason for me to be healthy and fit and be active. And I'm tying this all back in, don't worry, to the podcast, why I'm starting the podcast. So, the main reason I'm starting the podcast is so I can tell everybody about this. And, it's everybody has their shit that you have to overcome. And it's just, sometimes it's helpful if you hear other people's stories and you get inspired and get started. And, I'm here to tell you that like everybody has like their struggles and their own shit that's just extremely hard to deal with. And sometimes you can't do it by yourself. My family is amazing. My mom and dad have been here the whole way, like helping me. And I have an amazing girlfriend, and it's just, you need help sometimes. So, I've struggled with the weight so I started listening to podcasts about how to like what health and fitness is. And, this is all before I even started thinking about podcasting, starting my own podcast. And I'd listen to health and fitness stuff. And, one of my favorite ones for fitness is Mind Pump. They, they give you a really like clear message, and they're not pulled by big companies to feed you supplements and all this stuff. So it's very good information. And I started listening to this stuff, and I'm like, man, this is fucking awesome. Like all these guys get together and talk and, have good, conversations, and it seems like they're always learning and always progressing to be better and all this stuff that you need in life. And so this is what kind of started me on this whole process of starting my own podcast. So started listening to this stuff to try to get some more information on like better ways to get healthy and fit and lose weight. So I've always been able to work out, but I've always struggled with the weight thing. I enjoy the working out, but I've never been able to lose the weight. And these guys, the Mind Pump guys, they when they talk about it, it's very lifestyle. Like has to be like your lifestyle. Health and wellness is a lifestyle. You can't just, oh, I'm going to go on a diet and then change everything for 9 months and then lose a bunch of weight and then go back to what you were doing before because that got you fat or whatever you're trying to get rid of. And so I started listening to this stuff, and I wanted to get in on the action. That's what it is. I want to get my message out there, and I want to get my, the people that listen to this, give them the opportunity to realize that, you can do it too, is pretty much the baseline of what it is. But nobody's special. Everybody has their own shit to deal with, and it's all different, and it shows itself in different ways. And I didn't really think that this was an important thing until I started doing this and getting messages from people and saying that, oh, you inspired me and all this. It makes me feel so good that I've helped somebody. And if it's only one person, I'm fine with that. And we're all experiencing life together. We're all just doing it in different ways. And if I can help people out or however many people listen to this, it warms my heart inside, and I'm good with that. I'm not doing this to make any money. I fund all this stuff out of my own pocket. It's all just for you guys and, to help everybody out there out, which is, inspiring to me. And it doesn't only it makes me want to be better for everyone out there that's listening to this. It's not just, I get external motivation from, when I hear people talk, or when I, see something like Will Smith's post on Instagram, or something that's just like, it shakes your bones. And it's one of those things that's just very inspirational to hear. And, people need something to get the engines going. It's one thing to, keep the engine going, but to start it, it doesn't take a lot. So if I can provide that for somebody out there, that would be, I'm good with that. But this podcasting thing is, I've started reading a lot more and trying to get smarter, and just so that way I have really good information for you guys, good books to read, stuff like that. I'd love to talk to the authors and, have good conversations with these people and bring people on. I'm working on getting some people on, and just trying to, start my own thing here. And it's not a fast process. I'm figuring that out, but it's okay with me, because even though I haven't had a whole bunch of people listen to this stuff, it's, I still get a few messages, and it's just one of those, like, I get excited when I get that. When I get a message that says, "Oh, this was super inspiring. I started listening to your stuff." And it's just one of those, like, it makes me feel good, but it, like, also brings me a little bit of anxiety, because I'm like, okay, you need to do more and be better, so you can, share that with everybody. And it's not just, sharing good information. It's, bringing light to, like, everybody has, bad shit in their life. And some people hate talking about the stuff that, is causing, the way you are with your personality and stuff like that. I'm an only child, and I've realized that I've had patterns, kind of instilled in just my everyday life that I have to break. I'm not the best person when it comes to talking to people. I've never had siblings to talk to, and, it's just one of those weird things you don't realize until someone points it out. And it's important to not be objective about what you want to hear. And I want to be, transparent with you guys on, like, what I'm doing and what I'm working on. And, right now it's a lot of, recovery and my body, like, trying to get that to work right. But lately it's been a lot about my mental, the way I think, and, where my thoughts come from and why they stem like that. I hyperthink. I think a lot. And it's, I think it's good, because it gives me, I look at all the aspects of, like, why I think like that, or, like, what could happen. And it's okay to be not stressed out, but just, be conscious, be aware of what's going on. And so, to wrap this all into itself, I'm doing this to help everybody out there. And, I labeled this under comedy, but we're going to talk about real shit on here. And it's, I want it to be funny and entertaining, but I also want it to be very, information based and filled. And I want it to be fun and entertaining with, other people, which why I labeled it under comedies, because once I get it, going, I'd like to be able to have fun conversations. And it's very important to me to laugh. So I try to, have as much fun as possible when it comes to conversations. But this is a very real talk right now, and I think it's important. I haven't talked about this too much with the podcast and you guys out there listening, but, I want to let you know, like, why I actually started this and why you're listening to me talk about this stuff is because, I struggle daily with certain stuff, and it's, it doesn't stop me. I still go work out. My leg doesn't bother me. The only time I can tell when I've actually had the blood clot in my leg is when my ankle gets a little swollen, and I can usually, figure out if that was because I didn't have enough water that day, or if it was real hot, my ankle would get swollen. And it's just one of those, it's a constant reminder, like, you've been through like a hardship, like it's been hard through that time. But I'm young. I have a lot of time left, and I can't dwell on the old shit. I got to get past that stuff and bring my best me to the future me. Like I want to be better now, so when I'm older, I'm better than I would ever been if I didn't try to do all this stuff that I'm interested in doing. I got to work on stuff, and I know that this podcast isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. This is just a perfect way to show everybody out there that this is not, I can't wait to do this for another 5 years and then come back and listen to a podcast like this where I'm saying a bunch of ums and I'm lost in my thoughts, and I can't quite get everything down the right way, because in the future when I'm better at this and I come back to, and I'm going to be like, that's where I started. Look how much progress I've made. And it's always a reassuring thing when you can actually physically see the progress, or it's a thing that it's there. The progress is there. And that's pretty much it. I could go into more detail about the blood clot thing, but that's not the basis of, why I want to talk about this, this whole podcast. And, I said, like 4 times right there. Side note, I need to not say that, but, I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to get information for you guys. I want to bring good information. I'm trying to get guests on here to talk to them about, what they struggle with and how they, rose to the top of whatever they were doing, because everyone does it. I know so many people that have struggled, whether it's with depression or, anything like that. It's just so easy to get down in life now. And it's helpful when I hear like super inspiring stories, and it's just like, fuck, that dude was just a normal guy. Like, all those guys that you idolize, there's probably a little mental tweak because of the hard work ethic, and especially athletes and stuff like that. You look up to like a Michael Jordan, and that mental thing is just, people always go through hardships. It's just how you get through them and pull yourself out of them. Like I'm a huge golf fan right now, and everybody knows who Tiger Woods is. And it might be because he's a golfer, or it might be because he, cheated on his wife and it was all over the news for all those years. But that's a hardship, and now you're watching him. If you're a golf fan, he's coming back into golf and he's trying to be who he used to be. And it's, everybody goes through their own thing. And that's what I want to talk about that stuff on here. That's why I called it the elaboration station, so we can elaborate on the struggles in life and how people rise to the top of what they're doing and, pull themselves back out of the hole. And it's just one of those, reoccurring things. You always have it. There's always a struggle, whether your day is hardly perfect most of the time. You have more shitty days than you do good ones. So it's kind of one of those, make more good days. And that's, if you guys can listen to this and get inspired to have a good fucking day and just go about your business and, know that it's going to be okay. That's why I'm doing this. And that's why I want to continue doing this and talk to people that are super inspiring. And it's now my job to, bring that to you guys. Like, I want you guys to experience what I get to experience from this. And I'm inspired right now. I want to go work out, but the gym's closed Easter Sunday. So I'm going to go knock out a kettlebell workout probably, get it in at home, even though they're closed, right? No excuses.